Hey everybody, welcome back to the Lightside Music Reactions. Today we are back into checking out some songs that have been requested by you, the viewers. And today's request comes from Kathy Haymaker, 840. And the song that she requested is Voice of the Silent by the Redeemed Quartet. So that's what we're checking out today. Thank you, Kathy, for recommending this song. And for the rest of you, those of you that have put in requests, stay tuned because we are going to be putting up the reactions to the videos you requested as well. We're getting to them one at a time. But anyway, today we are, again, checking out The Voice of the Silent by the Redeemed Quartet. And also any of you that have other requests for me, feel free to comment down below and let me know what song and artist you want me to check out. And when I do react to the suggestion that you give me, I will give you a shout out in that video where I do the reaction, just like I did for Kathy just now. Anyway, here is the song from the Redeemed Quartet. This version I'm checking out right now is the official music film. And so this is a little bit longer, 6 minutes and 14 seconds, a little bit longer than the studio recording. And let me go ahead and read to you the description on here. Exactly 10 years ago, 4 teenage best friends and brothers set out on a journey of music, an adventure of a lifetime. And that's pretty cool because that's my own story. Back in 1991, I set out with some my best friends growing up, and we started a musical journey of our own, started our band, Crusade. And here we are all these years later. Not still putting out music together. We've all grown up and started careers and families on our own to where we weren't able to continue doing that. But if you want to check out our band's channel, for the last year or so, we've been uploading some of our old songs on there, the studio recordings. And so the link will be in the description to that also. You can check out Crusade songs over there. And then also when you're done here, obviously go check out the Redeemed Quartet's channel and watch their official music video or music film as we're reacting to right now, and you'll get to see the film, the video, and all, whereas on here all you'll get to hear is the music with interruptions as I pause it to discuss it. But they started out on a journey of music, an adventure of a lifetime. Now, a decade later, we present to you another Redeemed Quartet original, one laden with a message near and dear to our hearts. The Voice of the Silent is a call to prayer, an entreaty to listen. Will we stand for young and old, for yesterday and tomorrow? May God give us strength to side with the helpless and unheard in our generation. For as the song pleads with us, the voice of the silent is calling out to you. All right, so that's a little bit of a heads up to let us know what this song's going to be about. I imagine it's going to be a powerful song with a powerful message. So let's go ahead and check it out. This is the Redeemed Quartet with The Voice of the Silent. And once again, this is the official music film.
He's looking out the window, the tears run down his face. He's trying to remember the things he'd like to say, the jokes he used to tell them, the tales he used to spin. He longs for just a moment to tell them once again. He lost his voice last summer, now sitting in this chair. He's handing out a smile, he only gets a stare. The lessons he could teach them, they'll never hear him say. If only he could show them the way to live today.
All right, so it's starting out talking about this elderly gentleman. I assumed that it was going to be going a different direction. Maybe, maybe when we get into the second verse, it might take a change. But right now, it's given this example of this elderly man that it says he lost his voice last summer. Now sitting in his chair, he's handing out a smile, but he only gets a stare. The lessons he could teach them, they'll never hear him say. If only he could show them the way to live today. And I think I've talked about that recently on this channel. I know I've talked about it, maybe here, maybe in church, maybe both, about the importance of listening to our elders and getting to hear the wisdom that they have to offer us, the knowledge and the wisdom that comes from being able to apply that knowledge. And it's such a blessing to be able to learn the lessons from previous generations. And this is an example of somebody from that generation, possibly the what we call the greatest generation, the generation that survived the Great Depression and World War II, possibly World War One. I imagine World War One veterans are all gone by now. World War II veterans, I don't know if there's any of those still surviving. It's going to be hard pressed to find any from that generation, really, to be able to sit down and listen to. And when you have the opportunity to listen to one of these people share their story and their message. They've got so much to share with us. If only we would just open up our ears, open up our hearts, and let them speak. And when they talk about the voice of the voiceless, that is a great big sampling of our culture, of our society, of our population that needs to be heard. And we aren't hearing their voices. Let's go ahead and get back into it. Oh, funeral. This video is powerful. It showed, the casket at the funeral of this gentleman. And I don't know if this is his son or a grandson or whatever, going through his belongings and finding his diary. And there's an entry there that says, will anybody, and I'm paraphrasing because it already went off the screen, something to the effect of, will anybody hear the voice of the silent? And he was the voice of the silent. He had so much to share with the world. And there's nothing sadder than somebody leaving this world and not having a voice to be left behind. Recently, last week I think it was, we reacted to Willie Nelson's new song, Last Leaf on the Tree. And the beautiful thing, the beautiful message in that song was he was talking about, being in the autumn years of your life, in the final stage of life, and finding comfort in the knowledge that there's a new generation. Even as the leaf falls from the tree and dies, you find comfort knowing that in the spring the trees will bloom once again with bright, fresh, new green leaves, and that is the new generation. And there's nothing sadder than being one of those leaves that falls to the ground and dies and doesn't have their message heard, the special beauty that they have to offer that's passed on to that next generation of leaves. And that's one of the things that I think is this song is doing very, very good job of pointing out, that we need to hear that message from those that are getting up in age in those later stages of life, before it's too late for us to hear their message. Music-wise, it's very nice, very, very touching song. that the music, the pattern, where it's got the 4/4 or 2/4 beat there, it's kind of stereotypical of this genre of music, and I think it would have more emotion if it was a more gentle flowing song and not quite so heavy on the drum beats. The 2/4 rhythm of this song is good for most messages, but for a message like this that you want to be heartfelt, um, personally, I think that if they were to do a remake of this song, if they were to focus on just the strings and maybe soft guitars, but a little bit less on the drums, and just kind of let it flow, more of uh, a soft flowing tempo, like the modern kind of ballad sort of feel, or like praise and worship music style. I think would give it a lot more emotion musically to it. But the music is very well done. The singing is fantastic. The guy singing the lead on the first verse did a good job. And when they got to the chorus and they joined in with the harmonies, sounded very good. Another very good song by the Redeemed Quartet. This is, I think, the third song of theirs that I've reacted to, and I am enjoying this group very much. That's just my personal opinion on the music aspect of this song, specifically because of the message that it has. I think it would be more powerful and emotional with a more flowing tempo than with that stereotypical 2/4 beat on the drums. Let's go ahead and get back into it. Very beautiful. Especially the video. The video is just really brings out this message.
Her tiny little eyes are grinning up at me. Her hand around my finger. She's alive and she can breathe. But in a darkened alley, an unborn baby's cry is smothered as a mother signs away her child's life.
Okay, now here's the direction that when I saw the song title and read the initial description, this is the direction I thought they were going to take. Obviously, I'm a parent. I have a daughter that is now just recently graduated from college, and so this speaks volumes to me. In fact, I wrote a song about it myself called "Mouths of Babes." I may go ahead and put a link to that in the description too. But the opening to that song, the introduction, is a poem that I wrote called "The Ghost That Never Was," that really deals with this message. And that is an example of the soft flowing music, the tempo style that I'm getting at, that gives it more of an emotion. Now, once you get into the rest of the song, it's got a heavier kind of modern feel to it, because the message changes in the song. But that intro is the kind of musical style that I think would fit really well with this song. But anyway, let's go ahead and, while we're on this topic, it says here, I went ahead and looked this up. The last year for which the CDC reported a yearly national total for abortions is 2021. And in that year, when they released these statistics, it found that there were 625,978 abortions in Washington, D.C., and 46 states with available data that year. And so the states that did not report to the CDC are California, Maryland, New Hampshire, and New Jersey. And they don't report their statistics on abortions to the CDC. So this is 625,978. That's almost 626,000 abortions in the year 2021, according to the CDC. And that's not counting those, what is that, 4 states? Yeah, those 4 states are left out from that total. So it'd be an even larger number. Now you move down to the Guttmacher Institute. They did the same thing, and their national total, the most recent, is from the year 2020. And in their estimate, there was 930,160 abortions in the year 2020 in all 50 states and Washington, D.C., compared to 916,460 in the year 2019. So it went up almost over 10,000. That was like 14,000. Went up 14,000 in 1 year. And their figures, it says, are higher than the CDC's, obviously, because they get data from all 50 states. So, it's arguably more accurate than the CDC data. But either way, that is just crazy that hundreds of thousands of abortions every year in the United States. And here we are in 2024, so it's possibly much higher now than it was then. And it's just very sad. Let's go ahead and get back into the song, and then we'll talk about that a little bit more as we get into it.
A million little voices that you may never hear. A million precious heartbeats. Does anybody care? So many take advantage of children in this land. Behind the awful silence, will no one take a stand?
All right, so this verse, a million little voices that you may never hear, a million precious heartbeats, does anybody care? That song that I mentioned to you that I wrote, The Mouse of Babes, with the intro, The Ghost That Never Was, talking about the voice that is calling out in a haunting plea for help. And though I reach out toward the voice, I'm left all by myself. And then, if you note my restless nights, my torment is because I'm haunted by the spirit of a ghost that never was. That's powerful to me. I wrote those words in a poem, thinking about the perspective of a father, as I had my own child on the way, and just imagining if, in our society, if the mother had decided that she didn't want that child, and I would have no voice. I would have no choice in the matter. It's her decision, according to our society. And if she decides to end it, then I have no voice. And once she does end it, then that child has no voice either. And so, a million little voices that you may never hear, a million precious heartbeats. Does anybody care? And it's important that we do care, that we do something about it. Scripture-wise, Proverbs 31, famous chapter in the Bible, it talks about a godly woman and what God expects. And then as this woman is giving advice to her son in this chapter, she's telling him, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of those who are destitute. And those who cannot speak for themselves, I mean, who could that mean? Obviously, it's a broad variety. There's a broad variety of people that could represent. But the most obvious one to me is those unborn voices that may never get to speak because they are silenced. And it continues, so many take advantage of children in this land. Behind the awful silence will no one take a stand. God calls us to take a stand, to stand up for the voiceless, for the innocent, and to protect those that cannot protect themselves, to speak for those that cannot speak for themselves. And it's important for us to do that. In the New Testament, in Matthew chapter 18, it talks about where the disciples asked Jesus, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And he called a little child to him and said, unless you become as one of these small children, then you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. And he said, whoever welcomes such a child in my name welcomes me. And then he goes on and says, if anyone harms somebody such as these small children, those defenseless, the least of these, my brothers, then you have brought harm to me as well. And he said, if you bring harm to them, then on judgment day it will be better for you if a millstone were cast around your neck, or were tied around your neck, and you be cast into the sea. And so God will bring judgment on those that harm these innocent lives. And that is not me being hateful toward these women that make these horrible choices. I know a lot of them are deceived into it. A lot of them don't realize what they're doing, and that's why, as the pro-life movement, we need to be reaching out with love and compassion for everybody involved, for the mother, the child, for everybody involved, because they are all victims. These mothers are victims of a society, or would be mothers. They're victims of a society that are telling them that this is a valid choice. And our government right now, there's voices out there telling them that it's the only choice. And they are shoving it down their throats. And we need to bring them the message that there is another choice. And you don't have to do it alone. And we need to do a better job as the pro-life movement and as Christians. I know there's organizations out there, and I support them. There's one in particular that I absolutely love called Preborn. But we need to be like these organizations and go out and not just protest the actual abortions, but to support those women and help them to make the wise decisions. And then after they make those decisions, be there for them to help to provide a stable home, to provide the things that that child needs to grow up. Once again, one of the criticisms against the pro-life movement is they say that we only care about them while they're in the womb. And then once they're born, we forget about them and let them go. That's not the case. That may be the case in some instances, but not where I've seen. For example, this organization, Preborn, they not only help these women to understand the choices and the options that are available to them, but they are there to help them through that process. And then once the child is born, they are there also to provide financial support and emotional support and all kinds of things for them while they are raising that child. And so we need to cover all the bases and understand that these people are being deceived. And we need to share the truth of them with light and with love and compassion. And so we need to be that voice for them. Okay, let's go ahead and get back into it. Very nice, rich harmonies there. Nice chord. I also like how on the verses it's a little bit more up tempo, but when you get to the chorus and everybody comes in with the harmony, it stretches it out and almost takes twice the time to deliver a phrase than it does in the verses. That way you can focus on the voices of the quartet together, giving you these beautiful, rich harmonies. Very well written. Ooh, nice. Very nice harmony, sounding great. Very well written. Great line. We're killing tomorrow, neglecting yesterday. It's poetic, but it's true. Absolutely. The voices of the silent. It's our elderly that are getting too old or unable to speak for themselves for whatever physical reason, and those that are still too young and too small, too insignificant physically in order to stand up and speak for themselves. And we all go throughout those phases of life. Here we are, we're beginning the autumn season and we see the leaves on the trees. Once again, going back to that Willie Nelson song, I preached about it in church last weekend, and now, it's just coming full circle. is we see the leaves fall down from the trees, and then the new generation comes, and there's new leaves on the trees, and it goes through a cycle. And we need to stop neglecting the people at the opposite ends of that life, and focus on the trees when they first are starting to bloom, on those leaves, and also on the leaves that are reaching the age where they start to change colors. And I use the example of changing hair color. As you can see, my facial hair is turning white, just like the leaves on the trees in the autumn. They change from green into these beautiful, vibrant colors even as they're dying. And so we need to make sure that we are standing up and being the voices for those that have no voice. I love that chord, that harmony. The voice of the silent is calling out to you. Nice chord progression there. Once again, very well written. I like that chord progression on the end. That was a little bit unique, a little bit different from your typical, chord progressions on a song. And so, very nice that they're changing it up a little bit. Once again, my only criticism is a personal choice thing, and it's beautiful the way it's written. But personally, if it was up to me, I would have changed the rhythm from that 2/4 to more of a flowing rhythm throughout the song. But again, that's just my personal taste. Because of the message of the song, I personally think it would have had more of an impact. But who am I to say? I mean, it's a powerful song either way, and it got me emotional just listening to it. So maybe I'm wrong, but great job. Anyway, thank you once again for recommending this, the Redeemed Quartet. I love them every time I get to hear them, and I'm looking forward to hearing some more songs from them as well. If you enjoyed that, be sure to head over to their channel, give them some support as well. There's a link in the description. And while you're here, before you go, hit the like button if you enjoyed my reaction. Comment down below. Give me some recommendations on music that you'd like to see me react to. And above all, I'm glad that you are here, a part of this family. And, I welcome your voice to not be voiceless, but to share your feedback with me. And thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time on the Light Side Music Reactions. Have a great day, everybody, and God bless.